Yes, sir. We're back in this. Talk to him. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Okay. Outcast, killing it. Killing it. I mean, they're old school, but shit, you bump them and you got the whole city starting to do a little jiggy. You know, the whole city starts like, what? Left, right. Everyone, you just got homeless people. All of a sudden, they're just like, I'm in it. I'm starting to dance. Homeless people are in it. Like, now we got the electric slide going, and Outcast now has created just friendship amongst people, you know? And now you just got to say, thank you for great music. Thanks. But we're back in it. TA Certified Podcast. We've been away for a little bit. Now we're back at it like we never left. We're doing some NFL talk today. We're just going to go around the league, talk about some, what's going on, what players are doing good, the running back situation. As you see behind me, what the fuck are you doing, Sequon? You let the boys down. If he was in the group chat, you'd be cut out of the group chat by now, Sequon. You're no longer cool. So we're going to look at some training camp shit. We're going to look at today there's an NFL game, so that's kind of cool. We're back in it a little bit. So things are starting to heat up again. Before we get in it, B. Gilly, what's the word? How the fuck are you, man?
Bro, doing good, bro. Just hanging, surviving, trying to stay safe in this heat.
That's in Simi Valley. That's a real concern.
It's a genuine concern for your life.
Legitimately, you walk around out there for too long, you fuck around and dehydrate,
bro. And I should tell you, yesterday I placed my first baseball bet in probably like a month and a half. Just because I think legit, I placed this bet because I had too much time at work. I was just so bored. And I started looking at lines, and I just fucking ended up. Let me look at my like a 3-team steam. Yeah. And first leg, like fucking 2 ace pitchers. I had under 4.5 first 5.
Yeah.
Like, best pitchers on the White Sox and the Yankees were pitching, and I think they let up like a total of like over 11 runs in the first 4 innings. So I was like, all right, sick.
All right, sick. What a way to come back to this shit.
Just sent the $10 away, just fucking burnt the food away.
So I mean, I'm not following baseball too much at all, but I did see that the Yankees are like coming in like last, and it's like one of the first times in like decades since they've been this bad.
Both New York baseball teams are absolute garbage this year.
Absolute garbage. Wow. I feel like it's so hard to be consistently good as a team in baseball. That's why like the Dodgers are so impressive because how long now have they been just good? You know what I'm saying? Like them, the St. Louis Cardinals, who are kind of on a downhill finally too. But dude, like the Los Angeles Dodgers might be a beacon for just like how you continue to just be good. You kind of throw in some stars here, you recycle some guys that aren't, who used to be really good, and you flip them, and then you use your minor league. You know what I'm saying? So many good guys came out of their minor league.
That's what I love about baseball too, like the whole farm system. Like that way, you really never feel like a team is gonna go through like a long stretch of being bad. I feel like in baseball, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost like impossible. Not impossible, but like unless you're just your GM and your scouts are just incompetent. There's so much talent out there. Like it's wild to me that some teams continuously pick from that farm and continue to just be legit. Like look at the Athletics back in the Moneyball era. If you haven't seen that movie, go watch that. Like it's a great fucking movie. And it's just all about being smart, seeing what's most important in baseball, and then utilizing the players in that sense. So I think you can apply that to sports in general, right? Like,
yeah.
So things are getting interesting in the NFL now, though, brother. And I want to talk first about this Sequon Barkley thing, because there was some serious momentum with all running backs starting to get in line with like what was going on, right? They were not being paid enough. You have backup wide receiver 2s like getting paid more than like a star running back. You have Josh Jacobs ranked 13 in the top 100, but he can't even get a deal with the Raiders. There's so many things that don't make sense. And I feel like there was starting to be a little bit of a grassroots movement that was happening amongst running backs. There was that group text that was leaked. Everyone was saying that people were starting to, what can we do? How can we do this? And before we jumped on, you made a great point that if this was going to be like a tidal wave of a thing that crashed on these NFL owners, it had to be some of the best running backs like really getting in the ear of these brand new running backs coming into the NFL and letting them know, like, if you do this and we can get some leverage, when you ball out, you'll get paid. Like if you're just gonna come in and ball out while I'm, sitting trying to get paid, this same shit's gonna happen to you. Like it should be a precedent. Like you should, and a running back coming in from college, seeing how they're treating some of the biggest star running backs, that should worry the fuck out of you. You know what I'm saying? Like that should really worry you. You're putting all of it on the line in college, your knees, your body, and all that, to come to NFL to hopefully get paid, and you're not. You're really, really not. So,
yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? I mean, you told me, which was great, like having to get the young guys on board, but like you go from Saquon not wanting to do the tag and then getting a 1 year, like $12 million, whatever the deal was, and it's like, what are you doing? You know?
I mean, as far as what I was saying earlier, like as far as like the whole like everyone getting in line, even like the younger players who don't necessarily getting opportunities now. I mean, I said that, but I mean, really, let's be like realistically, like obviously that's what it would probably take, but even at that, it might not even work because at that point they can just GMs would be looking at unsigned people, and unsigned people who have zero like opportunities or zero like chance to make money in the NFL level. They're just gonna be like, fuck it, I'll take anything, whatever. I can take whatever I can get.
Grab some XFL guys, right?
Exactly.
Guys.
So it'd be so hard. I was thinking, I was like thinking about that in my head while you were saying that, what I was saying earlier. But I mean, yeah, as far as the Saquon thing, like it doesn't make sense. Like you did all this whining and complaining, and then you just signed the $11 million. You kind of not only do you like you settled for yourself, but you also kind of screwed it up for maybe potential other people. Like, hey, this is like, you know what I mean?
Because look at he had a great year last year, and you're gonna settle for what, just that? I mean, I know it's a year deal, and
if I was him,
do you know?
I don't know if it was guaranteed. It might be, maybe that's why. But maybe if I was him, I would have settled for anything less than what they offered him earlier, which was $17 million, like at the beginning of the offseason. That's the lowest I would have settled for.
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, he's going into next year looking like one of the best running backs again. I mean, there's gonna be, after this year, if we have some of the same guys going off again, Josh Jacobs, McCaffrey, Saquon, because look at this. Miles Sanders had a career year last year, 1,200 yards, and I think he had 11 touchdowns. And he got $22 million on a 4-year deal from the Carolina Panthers. And it didn't even, like, what is that? And you have Alan Lazard getting 3 years, $33 million from the Jets. Like,
that's absurd.
That is absurd and not right, my friends. It's not right. So Saquon, you really fucked your boys, man. You really, really did. You set a precedent that when things get tough, the tough get going. Apparently, that you just like, I'm gonna take the deal. I'm gonna take the deal. Just be whatever.
Just took the easy way out.
Easy way out. You didn't want to keep pushing.
Like he legit. Remember, you heard how they had like a Zoom call, like all the running backs, like Austin Eckler set it up, like literally, like they're all on it. Saquon was on the call. I was like, wait, hold up, guys, I got to do something real quick. And he went off and signed $11 million deal and came back. All right, back, guys.
And chat.
And chat, bro.
and chat. I saw, actually, going in, you brought up Austin Eckler. I saw a debate happening because he was ranked 7 spots ahead of TJ Watt, when I guess like has he clipped 1,000? He didn't clip 1,000 yards last year, did he? Or has he clipped 1,000 yards rushing at all?
No. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe not.
Yeah, because they're like, you put him at 31, but then TJ Watt at 37, and TJ Watt's like an absolute game. So it's again, if you can have this guy rated higher than TJ Watt, I think we talked about this in a previous podcast. TJ Watt is one of the highest paid defensive ends in the NFL, highest paid players, bar none.
Facts.
There's got to be a correction. I don't know where it's going to come from. I don't know who it's going to be, but if it doesn't happen, you're going to just like, don't buy a running back's jersey for your favorite team. I'll tell you that right now. If you really love the guy, I wouldn't buy his fucking jersey. He's probably going to be gone the next year. I mean, honestly, unless that team, is a run heavy team like the Titans, where they need Derrick Henry, right?
Yeah.
That makes more sense. But like, look at Eagles just let Sanders walk. And it wasn't like he got crazy dough either. Like they were comfortable with Rashad Penny and Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell. And like this gaggle of dudes instead of having your mainstay dude. So that tells you even what a team that like ran a fuck ton last year, the Philadelphia Eagles, what they even think about their running back. You know what I'm saying? So especially you got a running quarterback, you have a dual threat quarterback, that running back becomes already less.
I think that's also part of it too. I feel like the fact that there's so many mobile quarterbacks and the whole like RPO thing is, I feel like that also is it makes a running back's jobs easier too, because that the like the linebackers have to kind of like, they have a little hesitation, like is it quarterback taken or is it running back? So
Right.
it's like kind of sometimes opens up, I feel like, easier lanes, or like get some extra step for the running back. So I feel like it kind of in a way devalues the running back position just because of the way that mobile quarterbacks are kind of evolving. But I mean, and that's but still, with me saying that, that's only, I feel like only a few teams that actually run RPOs like that. So,
Right. There's only
like
a
regularly.
couple guys who really can like do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Most of the league, you might have these quarterbacks are fast in college, but once these guys that are like kind of fast in college, they're considered slow in the NFL. You have to be superior speed in college to then be fast in the NFL.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor, trade request. Jim Irsay's like, hell no, we're not trading you anywhere. And now you see Jonathan Taylor being recorded walking around Colts training camp with like a mean limp. Like he said his back was hurting, and then the Colts were going to do some shady shit and like putting him on like this weird, I forgot what kind. It's not the pup list, but it was a different type of list where basically they don't have to pay him all year because it was an injury outside of football. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
this is another one. Like 2 years ago, we were talking about Jonathan Taylor as like the next like Sean Alexander,
next like Barry Sanders, yeah, bro,
exactly,
going
just
crazy,
just a stud, an absolute stud. And now he's got to go so far to fucking do a trade request on a team he hasn't even been there for that long, you know. So there's it's just another, it's like another proof of like how little these guys they just don't. It's just not working.
It's sad they're not willing to pay Jonathan Taylor, and they're not even paying their quarterback anything. So it's like
they just got a rookie. Yeah,
I mean, Jonathan Taylor's part of the reason that's going to help make Anthony Richardson's job easier. So if you keep him around, you're going to make his job. You're going to be more successful until you have to actually pay Richardson. By the time you have to pay Richardson, if you want to, you can move off of Jonathan Taylor realistically.
Exactly. And at that point, you have 4 years, like couple 3 years of tread on him. So you're like, oh, you feel a little better about it too, you know?
Exactly.
And it's not like they have some stud wide receivers. They have Michael Pittman as their best guy. Like, come on, that doesn't make you shaking your boots all that much, you know? So that's another one. I'm just like, you have to look at who's running the show too. Jim Irsay's never been fully solid mentally. He's always, there was always that issue with drugs for a while. Then he came out talking wild and shit on Twitter. Like, this guy has always kind of been
a character. He's definitely a character.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. And if I'm wrong, I think did he inherit the Colts from his dad, or is he self-made? Do we know?
He may have. I think he inherited either the money or the Colts. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. So it's not like this guy is some real estate mogul making his fucking money, coming as a businessman and letting the team. No, it's one of those guys who like wants to play fucking GM, and tell the GM what he can and can't do.
He thinks he's on Madden right now playing GM, bro.
Exactly. He's literally on like the sticks, like on PS5, like, oh, I would do this. Yeah. He's like running Sims on PS5 and then implementing that into his real life, I think,
100%.
So, but we always talk about that running backs a ton. We're hashtag pay running backs always. They're always going to be near and dear to our heart. I don't know why, but I love a good smash mouth football game.
Yeah, because running backs is like, it's like the core of NFL and the core of like offense on the NFL team. It's just like, it doesn't feel right. I feel like at minimum their franchise tag should be 17 million. I feel like that's a good their franchise tag. That way, like, you can get franchise tag and you're like, all right, I'm okay with that. 17 million. It's not terrible.
Exactly. That's why you see those quarterbacks taking the plunge and doing franchise tags. So like,
30 something million in franchise
tag.
That's
what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. So, and what do most coaches say? Establish the run and then use that to do the pass.
Exactly.
So how are you going to say that and then just, carousel your backfield?
Exactly.
In other news, DeAndre Hopkins found a home. He found a home in Tennessee. I feel like they're trying to reproduce a little bit of what they had with A.J. Brown. They had that one big dog wide receiver and a couple just really good extra guys, and then, really good run game. So they're kind of replicating that. But we cannot forget Treylon Burks looks like a dog. There's a video that came out where he stems left makes the DB shift hips, and he just goes boom right back to it, and he is gone for a touchdown. I think my shit just fell in the back.
I saw that too. I was like, wait, am I seeing something? Yeah,
I think my shit just fell in the back there. But Treylon Burks, last year he looked good. He just got hurt a little bit too. He was your first year out of college, second year with a Pro Bowl stud receiver to kind of mentor him and show him the ropes a little bit. Because you watch DeAndre Hopkins, he looks like he's there for business. When he was mic'd up in Arizona, you see him looking at Kyler Murray going, "Hey, what are you looking at? What do you like?" He cares. You know, he's not just going to the sidelines and like whatever. So he seems to be like maybe a legitimate dude who could help Treylon and the Titans, you know, make that next step. So I'm actually excited to see what the Titans can do next year, because them doing that hell of a run where they beat Kansas City in the playoffs and they had that just dream run was one of my favorite times in football, because it showed you, again, we love running backs, how a smash mouth football team who can slow the pace down and play really good defense can take over a fucking football game and win a ton. And it might not be pretty, but they'll win and they'll make you feel them on the way through, you know? So that I'm really looking forward to Titans this year. They overestimated in the beginning of last year and then just took a shit the rest of it and nosedived. Yeah. So they're definitely not a bad team, brother.
Yeah, I think they'll be. I hope that they play Tannehill the whole year. I hope Tannehill stays healthy and they play them the whole year. I think Levis needs to watch a couple of seasons because of what I mean. I don't know. I think him sitting behind Tannehill for a couple, like a season or two, would be beneficial for him. I personally think.
Yeah, 100%. Because Tannehill is kind of like Kirk Cousins 0.0, right?
Yeah.
Like solid, not great, but gets the ball where it needs to be, and he's smart about football and about plays and about all that.
Yeah. Like he's a professional. He's like
exactly. That's a great way to put it. He's a professional, shows up, does the work. He was a big round pick in Miami, flamed out, and now he's kind of found a resurgence in Tennessee, quite honestly, right? Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it. I love Mike Vrabel. He's one of the the McAfee show. Like the dude. Like he's a dude's dude. Like he's a dude's dude. Like I fucking love that guy.
I read this quote, or I listened to it. He said something about maybe I was listening to a podcast with Taylor Lewan and like But I used something to say because I knew I liked Vrabel or whatever when he said I cut my dick off to win a Super Bowl. That's what he said, and then he's like, oh, I like this guy. Yep, this is my guy.
Yeah, when you talk about taking off your manhood for a football win,
something around that, like he said something like that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Luan's been all over the UFC and hanging out with Will Compton, and he's been making his rounds for sure since I think he's done with football now, right?
Yeah, he's kind of. I think he might be because he's just so successful as a podcast. I think with his podcast, I think he's kind of like he's gotten calls, he said, but he's kind of like, I'm
good. I don't want to get fucking hit again.
Exactly. He just coming with a torn ACL. He's like, do I want that again?
Right. Maybe give me a year, then see how I feel after a year, after doing a year of just podcasting. Maybe you need a little more, right?
It's for him too. Yeah, it's for him too. Now it's like the money's got to be right too, because the money's got to make sense for him. It's like, am I going to be making more money doing this or podcasting?
And right now, there's a lot of money in podcasting if you can do it really well.
Yeah, exactly.
So keeping on the wide receiver train, Calvin Ridley looks like a fucking man amongst boys. If you haven't seen the video of him fucking that left, bro, he is goddamn fast.
Bro, they show Zay Jones. And they show Calvin.
Yeah, literally. And Zay Jones is an athletic specimen.
Yes,
he is a absolute. And you just see him come out of fucking nowhere, hit that left foot in the ground, and just snap, and then boom. Dude.
Like I think he legit took like a second off the route from what Zay Jones did. Yeah.
At least. So I mean, this is going to be a little bit hard for you to hear, but we saw what the Jaguars were able to come back from against the Chargers and kind of progress with the help of Dougie P. And now you got this dog who loves to bet, my man, hell yeah, dog. And now he's going to come in and just route motherfuckers up. And apparently, like, I just haven't heard much about, I liked him, but everyone's talking about him like he's the route king. Like he is, what's the Devontae Adams 2.0. And from what the fuck I've seen so far, they're not wrong. He's big, long arms, and hella quick. So unless he starts needing to pay the mob back and he's dropping passes on purpose because he's in the betting game still, that man's going to be an all-pro. That man's going to be an all-pro.
Bro, if I was Calvin Ridley, every time I line up, I'd be like, to the DB, I'd be like, I bet you I catch this ball. I bet you I score this touchdown.
Hey, dog, I bet you I catch this ball on you. Hey, 5K on this catch right now, dog.
100%. Hey, bro, don't call me real quick. I got 5K on this. Chill.
Yeah,
chill.
He goes
split it with you.
Hey, T-Law. I got 5K on this next catch, so you got. I'm doing that in route. Remember that training camp in route? I'm doing that in route.
100%, bro.
100%.
Bro, I have Calvin Ridley. I have done so many best balls, and I have Calvin Ridley in probably like at least 20. If he goes off this season, I'm gonna make some money this season. I already know for
I'm hoping my fantasy league isn't super versed in this man yet. I'm gonna sneak him and I'm gonna take him.
I'm just telling you right now. This is a strat. Like if you have a late pick in a 12-man fantasy football league that's PPR, because Calvin Ridley is going, he's going like third round, fourth round.
Yeah.
If you're like 11th or 12th pick, you can grab like Nick Chubb, Tony Pollard, and then your first wide receiver can be fucking Calvin Ridley, bro.
Yeah. And then tell me you're not really happy with that.
Exactly. You could grab another receiver, grab like fucking Hopkins, or you grab another fucking running back. You grab a quarterback after that. You have fucking your first 4 picks would be fucking. It's like just perfect, absolutely perfect.
And this goes to it. Like we're not a fantasy football podcast, but boys, do a mock draft before you draft. Trust me, it'll help you kind of get your brain around. If this happens, then I do this. Because I've had plenty of times where last year I did not do any mocks and I went to a draft cold. And I'm telling you, it's not a good feeling. Do some mock drafts. Get yourself versed with some of these fucking names. Because if you're just trying to pick because you're like, oh, I've heard there's a rookie and he's going to be – it's not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it. Not the way to do it. So
I'm a complete mock draft and like
there you
best
go.
ball like fiend. I've probably easily done between mock drafts and like best balls, I've probably easily done close to like 85 to 90 drafts.
Folks, that's from a goddamn stone cold killer too.
Like late at night, I'll just have like 4 tabs open. I'll be doing mock drafts on all 4 of them.
That's why you're the fucking man, Brandon. That's what I'm talking about.
So like I know like when people go, like usually like this motherfucker's about to go.
You need to open up a column. You should do the column like Ask Brandon, kind of like Michael Berry, but he'd be like, hey, I've done like millions of mock drafts, so I actually know what I'm talking. Just Brandon, we're gonna start you up. We're gonna get you a fucking website. We're gonna submit your request here. The B Gilly Express line. Moving on to another stud. I've heard a lot about this guy in training camp. I'm excited to see him come up. Ravens, you might found a dog in Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers, you got OBJ out there, and who's the guy who got hurt last year? He's Bateman. Bateman too. So that 3-headed monster is going to be sick. You still have the tight end out there. Help me out with the tight end name too, Brandon.
Andrews, bro. They're not to think about. Their receiving core is nasty, bro.
They are going to be fucking nasty. Lamar has 0 excuses, and this could, like I'm saying, like we've talked about, this could be career year. This could be the career year. MVP, if it's not, bro. Then when, dog?
MVP,
then when?
Bro.
Yeah. So I'm super, super high on the Ravens this year. The offense might finally look like what they've been talking about for all these years. And then you got a burner in Zay Jones, a router in OBJ, and honestly, Bateman's too a burner. So you got some guys who can take the top off.
You have, bro, it's just they got the size with the routes with Andrews. They got a perfect slot guy for Zay Flowers. I don't know, because he can play on the outside too, Zay Flowers, even though he's small. They got OBJ, like you said, a route runner, and then you have Bateman's just speed, bro. Like
that's what I'm saying.
It's complete opposite of their last year's offense.
100%. Last year they were so stale, and like you really just had to guard Mark Andrews.
I think I saw after week 11 last year, the receivers scored 0 touchdowns.
Really?
Yeah. So it was all Mark Andrews and their running back scoring and fucking rushing for the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it does have to lean on Lamar getting hurt, but still, you should be able to do something when your quarterback gets injured, because like Colt McCoy was still slinging it even though Murray was out. So come on. I don't have much more on Zay Flowers, but I really can't wait for Ravens offense, dude. That's one. There's been a lot of noise out of there, but there's been 0 noise until a video just came out the other day from the New Orleans Saints. I mean, if there's been no noise, They just got a brand new quarterback. There's been some shit about Alvin Kamara might be suspended and all that. But I think the teams that you hear less about are the ones you want to be scared about. That means they're in the playbook. They're dogging it up. And I saw Derek Carr. I mean, he still looks very good. His accuracy is very good. He was hitting some of the running backs perfectly in stride. That's what those running backs need to. So even though there is no fucking hype out of there, I think that's exactly how they want it, you know?
Yeah, I think I did see. I don't know what video you were talking about, but I saw the video of Michael Thomas like doing a slant because everyone makes fun of him, making fun of him how he always does call him slant boy,
slants. Yeah,
slant boy. But he looks. I don't know if he was doing it full suit. He looked fucking slow, to be honest, when he was running that route.
Well, dude, he's been
been out of it for like almost 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, you can. Again, folks, we're talking about seriously, NFL players are probably some of the best athletes in the world, if not the best. They do all this shit with the helmets and a pad on. So if you're going to be gone for 3 years and it's a Achilles or ankle or any of those soft tissue injuries, good luck coming back at full speed. And especially after a couple years, maybe after 1 year, you're still kind of juicy. You're still kind of, but you've been sitting on ice, my boy, for a minute.
Exactly.
For a minute.
Another thing on the Saints.
Yeah.
I think if Carr and Olave can get their chemistry right, like
100%,
they can produce a lot. I was listening to a podcast today about fantasy action today. It's just kind of like about potential Olave's like breakout. This is in like they said the past 3 seasons.
Yeah.
That Derek Carr has supplied number like a top 12 receiver performance.
Okay, yeah.
So I think last year, obviously Devontae Adams. The year before that, Devontae Adams I think was like the 3rd like ranked receiver last year. The year before, I think Hunter Renfrow was like the number 10 or 11 receiver.
Right.
And the year before, Darren Wall was like if he was a receiver, he would have been like I think the number like 8 or something like that.
Right. So this man, when he finds his target that he likes, he goes to you a lot.
Yeah. He like sure. He can throw deep too, so it's like another like.
Oh yeah, he's got a live arm. That's there's no that for me. That's not an issue with Derek Carr. It's always kind of like confidence and decision making, but he's got a hose.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's got a fucking hose. But we're gonna finish it off with this shit. This one you sent me, Brandon. You sent me, and I'm interested. I'm gonna share this video. This could be a new way that the NFL do kickoffs. They're taking away a little bit of XFL's kind of flow, but bruh, I kind of like it. This might lead to a little more fun in the kickoff game because we haven't had too much fun ever since they took that. You know, they kind of made it a little pussified, to be honest with you. So let's watch real quick. Can I do it like this? Yeah, I think I can. Yeah. Cool. Let's watch this, how they do it here. Here we go. Is back to kick it away. So they're stayed at that line and they wait until he catches and then they move. And you can see the opportunities there for a little more because you know these guys are obviously XFL, so they're tier below. But having guys be stationary and then having them have to do quick twitch fiber movements right away while this guy already has the ball and he's moving forward. Good fucking luck. Could you imagine Deontay Hall back in the day, Kansas City Chiefs return fucking specialist doing this shit? He would have had one almost every game.
Or Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson. Let's talk about oh god, from the fucking number 23 from the Bears. Oh, what's his name?
Devin Hester.
Devin Hester, dude. This could be like I'm gonna put up my flag. I'm gonna put up my sign. NFL needs to adopt this because it'll bring up. I think it's gonna bring so much more excitement, fantasy football wise. Right, you're gonna have more people drafting fucking receivers who don't really play much, but they kick return because you never know now.
Yeah,
this to me would bring a lot of life to the NFL and change it up a little bit where you're not changing the game as we know it, but you're making it seem like first of all you care about player safety because there's going to be a lot less big impact hits there, and you allow for a little more room for players to hit a big one.
Yeah, as well as I think that leaves in like because they're so close. I think it leaves in like the aspect you can like strategize. You can make a I don't know what kind of plays, but you could like where you like I don't know pull one guy from one side and the next thing you know, you have
one guy on the far right who just fucking creeps out and go and you fake the handoff or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
So this is one like there's not many things that change the NFL that are structure wise. There's been a couple like they changed the kickoff like where they kick it off from, so they just want less of those. But that's like what we all grew up on, those big hits and just fun like kickoff returns, punt returns. Like that's just one of those things as a person, I think we all like just feel that excitement, right? So if you do this, I think it doesn't take away from the football game that much at all, if anything, you know?
Yeah. Although, what's it called? I watched McAfee. McAfee absolutely hates this. I forget why. I didn't watch.
He likes to be a different kind of cat.
Yeah, I don't know what I didn't watch the whole clip, but I know he made like a whole clip. Essentially, there was a whole clip based on this whole thing. How much he hates it.
Yeah, when I typed in XFL video, he was the first video that came up.
Yeah.
So I think you're exactly right on that, my friend. But other than that, today the Jets and the Browns are playing. No Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think, no Deshaun Watson. Obviously, his first game of the preseason, but you can get to see a couple of the starters on other positions. And we already see Zach Wilson trying to escape the pocket, slipping and falling. So a little bit, what's always good? You like feeling comfortable? Well, go ahead and watch Zach Wilson continue to be shitty. That'll make you feel real good, baby. But we're getting so close to NFL time. September 7th is game 1. That's about a month away. And we're going to watch a weird first game in the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. But it will still be great. The offenses should be fucking phenomenal that day. If you haven't watched the quarterback documentary on Netflix, I fucking suggest it. Me and Brandon are going to do a breakdown on this and through a podcast. It is a phenomenal docuseries. Very good. If you're a football fan, you might like Kirk Cousins more and you might like Patrick Mahomes a lot less. So I'm just letting you know now.
I gotta ask, do you like Mahomes less or more from the thing?
Less.
Thank you. I can't stand him. I hate him even more now, bro.
How many times can you say yes, sir? Can you just? He says yes, sir, dude. They played a clip where I counted. He did like 20 yes, sirs in a row. I was like,
I'm him.
Yeah.
Fucking,
and then
he gives me like Disney like cringe vibes. That's what he gives me. Disney cringe vibes. That's all he gives me.
100%.
All he gives me. I can't stand it.
It seemed like obviously he knew the camera around, but it seemed like he would really knew the camera was around,
Yeah, he seems like when he got hurt. I'm not saying he wasn't hurt, but he seems like he wants you to know that he's hurt.
He's fucking hurt. Yeah, and then he's like going off on and then he got hurt and told Andy, "Fuck no, fuck." Yeah. And he goes tells his buddy, "And I told Andy, man, fuck no." Like he's one of those. He's young, but he's still one of those guys who's always kind of like, "Hey, and I did this. I did this."
Exactly.
Like he's so lucky. He's so fucking good, or else his team. I don't know. If you're like not that good and you're just that guy and your wife's that girl, like, and then your brother's that guy or them, whatever the fuck.
You notice they didn't let the brother have one word in the whole documentary.
No, they said if we want to keep you looking okay to the general public, we're not going to allow him to get on fucking national on this shit. And it was probably for the best. Best.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
B. Gilly, it was great reconnecting. We're going to start doing this probably either bi-weekly or whenever we get the free chance because we just love football. We just love football that much. But before we get out of here, anything else to say to the people? Anything else?
Man. If you're playing for money in fantasy, do the mocks. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, if you're playing for money, you don't do mock drafts, you might as well just hand like a free 50 to like the next man you see on the street. Like you might as well just do that, honestly. But fantasy's coming up. I got my I got some mock drafts next week I'm going to do. And then my real drafts are September, I think 1st and 3rd. So I'm starting to pay my league fees. I'm starting to get ready and I'm starting to read some articles. Let's get after it. Yeah. Let's get after it. We're going to end on
We're here. We made it. We survived.
Yeah, we survived the dog days, baby. You got it. If you haven't seen Say It With Your Chest and Brandon's Dog Days, go watch it. It's informational and it's heart-wrenching. It makes you emotional. Okay. So we're out on this, folks. T-Pain. Okay, till next time, folks. This will be up. Today's Thursday, August 3rd. This will be up by Friday or Saturday. And we appreciate you if you're listening. We always do. So on that note, peace.